In a jaw-dropping attack, South Park took aim at Meghan Markle with a ruthless parody, recasting her as Maxilla and dragging her through the dirt without remorse. Sources say Meghan is fuming, blindsided by the episode's brutal portrayal of her as a fame-obsessed diva. Behind palace doors, tensions are boiling. Rumors of legal action swirl as her team scrambles to control the damage. South Park didn't just poke fun, they torched her public image. And now, Meghan's reportedly ready for war.
Can we rally him up here and finally have our own privacy? My love, I will do anything for your privacy.
Yeah, I loved it.
But don't be fooled. This isn't some celeb sulking over late-night punchlines. No, this is a full-scale PR crisis, exposing just how thin-skinned Meghan really is when the spotlight turns brutal. The South Park episode didn't just sting, it hit a nerve, ripping off the polished facade and revealing a Duchess who crumbles the moment the satire cuts too deep. The episode goes straight for the jugular, no holding back. Meghan is reimagined as a loud, over-the-top, train wreck caricature of her public persona, dripping in hypocrisy and fake virtue. It's a savage takedown of her woke brand, turning her into a punchline that's equal parts cringe and chaos. South Park may be infamous for brutal satire, but this time, it's not the jokes making headlines. It's Meghan's meltdown. Her explosive reaction has stolen the spotlight, turning a cartoon jab into a full-blown media circus. Instead of shrugging it off, she's lit the fuse on a PR disaster that screams one thing loud and clear. They hit the mark, tries to shut it down, the more deafening the backlash becomes. Every move to spin the narrative only magnifies what critics are calling her paper-thin skin and iron grip on image control. And that's the real plot twist. Her own reaction is what's turning this South Park episode into a cultural explosion.
The couple have been begging for privacy, and South Park has done a parody of this, and apparently it has really upset Meghan Markle.
No punches pulled. Maxilla shows Meghan as a rampaging nightmare, a fame-fueled force of destruction. This isn't satire, it's scorched earth. The episode torches her image, framing her as the root of royal and cultural chaos. It's not just a jab, it's a televised takedown.
She's apparently spent days being upset and overwhelmed, according to sources, over this parody, which picks apart all of their publicity blitz while at the same time begging privacy.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone have made a career out of chaos, but this hit lands like a gut punch. Maxilla isn't just another animated jab. It's a mirror held up to Meghan's harshest criticisms. The beast on screen, brazen, relentless, attention-hungry, and eerily familiar. The episode echoes what critics have been shouting for years. Meghan leaves drama in her wake, whether it's the monarchy or the media spotlight. And judging by the outrage, the hit went straight to the core.
So you hate journalists. That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. So you're a journalist.
And here's the real twist. Meghan allegedly trying to get the episode pulled? That's not damage control. That's a power play gone wrong. It reeks less of defense and more of diva-level entitlement. When you brand yourself as a global force, the spotlight doesn't just shine, it burns. And when satire strikes, the backlash isn't optional, it's part of the deal.
Would you ever run for office?
No.
Never.
No.
Never.
Never.
You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Win.
Oh my gosh, I work so hard, and I
you?
appreciate what hard work looks like.
The episode doesn't just mock Maxilla's rampage, it rips into Meghan's meticulously crafted woke brand. That glossy image of purpose and activism, South Park slices it wide open. She's portrayed as a culinary catastrophe, whipping up mayhem, not movements. The kitchen metaphor isn't just clever, it's surgical, dismantling the illusion and leaving nothing but mess in its place.
Well, according to their tax documents, they work 1 hour a week.
What mother or father in the name of sweet Jesus has enough time to create a fruit plate at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning when there's toast throwing around the room?
This isn't just shade. It's a shot at Meghan's real-life flops, like her underwhelming Netflix cooking show. Critics say it lacked heart, and its crash and burn only strengthens claims that her activism is more about image than impact. It's a brutal swipe at Meghan's glossy rebrand, and the cracks showing beneath it. South Park doesn't just ridicule, it reveals, turning her activism into what many now see as a scripted act, polished to perfection, but missing the pulse of real passion.
The episode said they're very wealthy. He's been handed everything he has on a platter. You know, they're literal royals. They're living in a multi-million-pound house in Southern California.
By turning her carefully crafted social justice image into a punchline, South Park doesn't just poke fun, it undermines the very credibility she's spent years constructing. What once aimed to uplift now feels rehearsed, calculated, and empty. And the real kicker? Meghan's alleged attempt to silence the episode backfired spectacularly, shining an even brighter light on every brutal truth the show dared to call out.
South Park has done episodes on the royal family, on the royal wedding of Kate and William, for instance, so it's not something that they would be able to sue about.
In today's viral age, going after satire is a guaranteed backfire. It's not censorship, it's fuel. Meghan didn't kill the moment. She supercharged it, drawing even more eyes to the very thing she wanted buried. Her push for silence didn't protect her, it exposed her. What was meant to shut down criticism only highlighted just how tightly she clings to her image and how unprepared she is for even animated backlash.
You know, I'm not sure how the Sussexes are taking it. Obviously, it is a cartoon, but there's so many moments of truth in that episode that makes it so funny. The episode called what they were doing a worldwide privacy tour, which is obviously play on really what they're trying to do.
This moment blasts open a glaring double standard. Meghan demands full control over her narrative, but the second someone spins a version she doesn't like, it's all-out war. While others might shrug off satire, her fury has done the opposite. It's rallied critics, fired up comedians, and triggered a media storm she was desperate to dodge. Instead of diffusing the moment, she detonated it. To many, this feels like a rerun of Meghan's well-worn strategy: control the story, mute the critics, and reshape the narrative to fit her brand. But this time, it's cracking. Maxilla isn't just a joke, it's a brutal dissection. It slices through the glossy PR, the curated victimhood, and the Netflix contracts, exposing something raw underneath. A woman fiercely clutching the spotlight, driven by entitlement, and ready to erupt the moment things slip out of her control.
These two are not sincere people. They say that they want their privacy while going on every television show, writing books, doing 6 hours of Netflix. They're not very likable, and people are tired of them.
The satire hits hard because it echoes a deeper truth. People are getting tired. Tired of Meghan's endless claims of being misunderstood, all while insisting on staying front and center. Sure, the episode mocks her, but what it really exposes is a cultural turning point. The polished narrative isn't landing anymore, and the public, they're no longer buying what she's selling.
They're putting themselves on the world stage using expensive PR while demanding privacy, while writing books, while being on Oprah that had 50 million viewers. People who want privacy don't do that.
And the silence from South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, that's not avoidance, it's defiance. Their refusal to apologize speaks loud and clear. No one is immune to criticism, not even Meghan Markle. Despite all her attempts to control the narrative, she's still one of the most visible and valid targets for satire. Her explosive reaction to Maxilla isn't just outrage, it's the latest flare-up in a long-running drama of privilege, PR blunders, and public blowback that just won't quit.
What matters is what we have on the inside.
They nailed it. They nailed it.
Meghan's attempt to shut down Maxilla didn't just backfire. It hand-delivered a win to her fiercest critics. What was meant to silence the noise has turned into a megaphone of mockery. In trying to erase the episode, she didn't just lose control. She crowned herself as one of the most polarizing figures in royal history. And here's the brutal truth. When you live in the spotlight, satire isn't a glitch. It's the cost of fame. You either laugh with it or let it rip you apart. Meghan chose the meltdown.
They say they hate journalists. Harry hates journalists. But to pay PR who say what you want and who, shape social perception in your favor while also disparaging and lying about others, thereby reaching their privacy, I think the whole, worldwide privacy tour is hysterical.
As Meghan unravels over Maxilla, the spectacle isn't the episode. It's her spiraling reaction. The more she pushes back, the further she sinks into a PR disaster that just won't die. South Park didn't just roast her, it triggered a reckoning. It tore through the glamour and grace, exposing the contradictions and chaos beneath the brand. But the real jaw-dropper? Her desperate bid to kill the episode. It didn't show strength, it screamed obsession and a stunning blind spot for how out of touch she's really become.
Harry last year wrote a book called Spare, which smashed his brother, his father, his mother-in-law, his sister-in-law, the media, and many, many others in one giant whinge. Life expected from this? Was it pity, sympathy at their hard life, or just the millions of dollars they've earned from betraying Harry's family?
One of the sharpest truths Maxilla exposes is Meghan's twisted dance with the media, a routine built on blame, yet fueled by her own spotlight addiction. For years, she's cast the press as the enemy, but somehow she's always at the center of the storm, fueled by leaks, lawsuits, and tell-all interviews she willingly dives into. The episode doesn't hold back. It paints her not just as a victim, but as the mastermind behind the chaos, calling out the contradiction loud and clear. You can't demonize the media while constantly feeding it. What once looked like struggle now reeks of strategy, and audiences are finally seeing through it. The sympathy is fading, fast.
Meghan, it's just like we see right through your fake behavior, and no amount of saying how kind you are is going to make people think, oh, isn't she so kind? All of the nasty things you have done, we know.
Instead of winning hearts, Meghan's media game is pushing people away. The more this narrative unfolds, the more she stops looking misunderstood and starts looking meticulously manipulative. South Park doesn't miss. It hammers home the contradiction at her core, demanding privacy while chasing the spotlight with calculated precision. That tension is exactly why the satire hits like a sledgehammer. From the emotional Oprah confessional to her camera-ready appearances, Meghan isn't coming across as authentic. She's coming off like a character, flawlessly scripted, perfectly lit, and increasingly hard to believe. Maxilla storms through scenes in full diva meltdown, screaming, posturing, and obsessed with her own spotlight. And here's the kicker, critics say it's barely even an exaggeration. Meghan's every move, from the speeches to the press tours, feels more staged than sincere, crafted for optics, not honesty. By embracing this over-the-top version of her, South Park throws a vicious punch at her post-royal rebrand. Far from finding independence, the satire argues she's only drifted further into delusion. No palace, no filters, just a woman trapped between the fantasy of royalty and the brutal reality of celebrity life. And the destruction Maxilla leaves behind? It's not just a joke. It's a symbol of how Meghan's influence seems to fracture more than it connects.
I've read Spare. I've read it cover to cover. They are a damaged couple. They are people in trauma.
Critics argue Meghan hasn't just shaken up the monarchy, she's left a wreckage trail of broken bonds, shattered trust, and deep internal fractures. Behind the scenes whispers of power struggles, senior royal confrontations, and staff fleeing in droves paint a picture cartoon chaos ruthlessly amplifies. The monster imagery? It's no exaggeration. It's a sharp metaphor for the fallout of her relentless grip on control, a dominance that seems to erode loyalty and real human connection at every turn. And in a world obsessed with curated messaging, Trey Parker and Matt Stone's refusal to flinch is nothing short of rebellion. While Meghan cloaks herself in brand-friendly progressivism and tight narrative control, South Park comes in swinging, an unfiltered jab at the performative elite. Their bold stance isn't just comedy, it's resistance. A fiery reminder that satire still matters, especially when aimed at power wrapped in designer activism. Meghan's furious attempt to smother Maxilla didn't shield her reputation, it torched it further. What's devastating isn't the parody, it's how spot on it feels. The traits mocked, entitlement, manipulation, and a curated victimhood aren't far-fetched. They echo too loudly for too many. Maxilla isn't just a takedown, it's a cultural spotlight Meghan can't dim. And the reflection staring back is one she clearly wasn't ready to face.
Meghan ruined Harry. Now that the once carefree, fun-loving prince has turned into a miserable moaner, lashing out from the depths of his paranoia at a world he thinks is conspiring against him.
Unless Meghan Markle is ready to stare down the brutal truth staring back at her, the unraveling of her public persona won't just continue, it'll accelerate. Maxilla isn't just a cartoon character anymore, it's a cultural siren, a warning flare, proof that the cracks in Meghan's picture-perfect brand are splitting wide open for the world to see. What sparked this storm wasn't the satire itself, it was Meghan's furious attempt to kill it. That knee-jerk move didn't scream courage or leadership, it screamed panic. It exposed someone not grappling with criticism, but running from it, clutching at a narrative that's already slipped through her fingers. This wasn't a PR stumble, it was a meltdown in real time. While Meghan has long tried to script her own story, Maxilla shredded the script. The imagery, the exaggeration, the punchlines, they all hit a nerve because for many, they didn't feel like fiction. They felt like truth wearing a costume. And Meghan's response? Instead of brushing it off or owning the moment, she doubled down, demanding takedowns, trying to muzzle the mockery. But all it did was pour rocket fuel on the fire. The louder she tried to silence it, the more attention it got. Suddenly, millions who hadn't even seen the episode were watching and laughing. This isn't about bruised feelings. It's about a public figure who's built an empire on visibility now crumbling under the weight of her own contradictions. She claims to champion openness, but recoils at satire. She paints herself as a warrior for truth, but won't tolerate the kind aimed at her. The result? A backlash louder than ever. South Park didn't just land a joke. They sparked a movement, a moment of reckoning. The portrayal of Meghan as a chaos-cooking diva stomping through her surroundings isn't just comedy. It's a metaphor for how she's perceived by a growing segment of the public. Dramatic, controlling, obsessed with perception, but blind to how that obsession is eroding trust. But with Maxilla, that tactic finally collapsed under its own weight. Instead of damage control, we're watching image implosion. The more Meghan pushes back, the more she reveals. They turn on you. And that's exactly what's happening. Rather than shifting the spotlight, Meghan has become it. And this time, it's not soft-filtered or palace-approved. It's unrelenting, unfiltered, and unforgiving. Maxilla wasn't just a cartoon roast, it was a mirror. And Meghan blinked. Her fury didn't silence critics, it mobilized them. Her attempt to crush the episode didn't make the satire go away. It gave it a second life. And this time, it's not just fans and critics watching, it's the world. The question now isn't whether South Park went too far. It's whether Meghan's public persona can survive a blow this big. Because right now, it's not just the jokes that are going viral, it's the realization that the Empress of Image Control might be unraveling, one controversy at a time. So, what do you think? Did South Park finally say out loud what everyone's been whispering for years? Or did they cross a line? Let us know below. Because this isn't just about a cartoon anymore. This is a cultural wake-up call. And Meghan Markle just might be at the center of a brand breakdown that no palace, no PR team, and no press blackout can stop. More fire coming soon. Stay tuned.